If you could move to any city in the USA tomorrow, no questions asked, where would you go?
Honestly, New York, without even thinking twice.
See, that's so interesting because I'd choose something completely different.
Now I'm curious, where would you go?
San Francisco, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Favorite cities in the USA.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Crack the Lingo.
We're talking about American cities today, the ones we love, the ones we visit, and how to describe them naturally in English.
It's such a fun topic, honestly, because cities have such different personalities.
Exactly, and it's a great way to practice English too, describing places, comparing experiences, talking about atmosphere and culture.
True, and by the end of this episode, you'll be able to talk about your own favorite city with much more detail and confidence.
No boring geography lesson here, just two friends talking about places they love.
So get comfortable and let's get into it.
Before we start, quick favor. If you're enjoying Crack the Lingo, hit the like button.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. New episodes every week to help your English sound more natural.
And here's today's comment question. What's your favorite city in the USA, and have you actually visited it?
Write your answer below in English. We genuinely read every comment.
Okay, let's actually dig into it. So, Daniel, why New York specifically?
Honestly, the energy. There's something about that city that never feels boring, even at 3 in the morning.
That's true. New York really does have a reputation for never sleeping.
Exactly. I visited once for a week, and I remember feeling completely overwhelmed, but in a good way.
Overwhelmed. That's a great word here. It means you feel like there's too much happening at once, almost too much to process.
Right, you could say the city felt overwhelming at first, but I loved it once I got used to it.
That's such a relatable feeling for big cities. What overwhelmed you the most?
Probably just the pace. Everyone walks so fast, talks so fast, and honestly, I felt like I needed a nap by noon every day.
That sounds exhausting, but also kind of exciting at the same time.
It really was both. What about San Francisco? Why did that city stand out to you?
I think it was the mix of nature and city life. You have hills, the ocean, and this incredible energy all together.
I've never been, honestly. What was your favorite part of visiting?
Walking across the Golden Gate Bridge, definitely. The view was absolutely breathtaking.
Breathtaking meaning something so beautiful it almost takes your breath away, right?
Exactly. You could say the view from the bridge was breathtaking. I just stood there for 10 minutes taking photos.
I love that. Was the city expensive, though? I've heard it's one of the priciest places in the country.
Extremely expensive, honestly. Even a simple coffee felt like a small investment.
That's such a common complaint about a lot of major American cities.
True. Do you think a city's cost affects how much you actually enjoy visiting it?
Definitely, at least a little. It's hard to relax completely when you're constantly thinking about your budget.
I agree with that, though sometimes the experience is worth stretching your budget a bit.
That's fair. Some places are worth the splurge, honestly.
Speaking of experiences, what surprised you most about New York? Something you didn't expect before visiting?
Honestly, how friendly people actually were. I expected everyone to be rude based on movies, but that wasn't my experience at all.
That's such an important point. Media stereotypes really don't always match reality.
Exactly. I got lost once near Central Park, and a stranger walked 10 minutes out of her way just to help me find my hotel.
That's such a lovely story. Little moments like that really shape how we remember a place.
Definitely. Small kindness from a stranger stays with you longer than any tourist attraction sometimes.
I completely agree with that. Did you get to see any famous landmarks while you were there?
Yes, actually. Times Square at night was unforgettable. All those lights and screens everywhere.
Unforgettable. That's such a strong word. It means something you'll always remember, right?
Exactly. You could say Times Square at night was unforgettable. I've never seen so many lights in one place.
I can only imagine. Did you feel like the city matched what you'd seen in movies, or was it different?
Honestly, both. Some parts felt exactly like the movies, but other parts felt much more ordinary, just regular streets and regular life.
That's interesting. Movies definitely highlight the extraordinary parts and skip the everyday details.
Exactly. What about you? Did San Francisco match your expectations or surprise you in any way?
It actually surprised me with how cold it was. I expected California to feel warm year-round.
Really? I always assumed the same thing, honestly.
A lot of people do. The fog there is famous, and honestly, some mornings felt genuinely chilly.
That's such a good example of how expectations don't always match reality with cities.
Exactly. You really only understand a place properly once you've actually experienced it yourself.
Quick challenge for everyone listening right now. Pause for a second and think of your favorite US city in just 3 words.
3 words only, describing how that city feels to you.
Exactly. Then write those 3 words in the comments. We're genuinely curious what people come up with.
Okay, back to us. Let's talk about food for a second. Did either city have a specific food experience you remember?
Oh, definitely. I had actual New York-style pizza, and honestly, it changed my entire understanding of pizza.
How was it different from what you usually eat?
The slices were huge, thin crust, and people fold it in half before eating, which felt strange at first.
Folding pizza, that's such a specific cultural detail. Did you try it their way?
I did, and honestly, it actually works better than I expected.
That's funny. San Francisco had incredible seafood, especially near the pier area.
I've heard about that area. Was it touristy or did it still feel authentic?
Definitely touristy, but the food was still genuinely good despite that.
That's a fair balance. Sometimes touristy places get unfairly criticized even when the experience is actually worth it.
Exactly. I think people forget that popular doesn't automatically mean bad.
True. Okay, let's talk about something a little different. Do you think you could actually live long-term in the city you love visiting?
Honestly, I'm not sure about San Francisco. Visiting for a week felt different from imagining daily life there.
That's such an important distinction. A vacation version of a city is very different from the real, everyday version.
Exactly. The traffic, the cost, the daily routine, all of that changes the experience completely.
I actually disagree a little when it comes to New York. I think I could genuinely live there long-term.
Really? Even with all that overwhelming energy you mentioned earlier?
Yes, actually. I think I'd adjust to the pace eventually, and honestly, I love having everything within walking distance.
That's fair. I think it depends on what kind of lifestyle feels sustainable for each person.
Definitely. Some people thrive on constant energy, and some people need more calm, everyday spaces.
I think I fall into that second category, honestly. I love visiting energetic cities, but I need quieter places to actually live.
That's such a healthy way to think about it. Visiting and living really are 2 completely different experiences.
Exactly. Okay, here's another question. Have you ever visited a city that completely changed your opinion, either positively or negatively?
Actually, yes. I visited Chicago expecting it to feel similar to New York, and it completely surprised me in a good way.
How so?
It felt more spacious somehow, calmer, but still had that big city energy without feeling as chaotic.
That's interesting. Did you expect to like it less than you actually did?
Honestly, yes. I almost skipped it during my trip, and I'm really glad I didn't.
That's such a good reminder that expectations shouldn't completely decide our travel plans.
Exactly. Some of the best travel experiences come from places we almost overlooked.
I completely relate to that. I once visited Austin expecting a quiet stop, and it turned out to be one of my favorite parts of the whole trip.
Really? What made Austin stand out for you?
The music scene, honestly. Live music everywhere, even in small casual restaurants.
That sounds amazing. Did you get to see a live performance yourself?
Yes, actually, in a tiny bar that felt more like someone's living room than an actual venue.
That kind of intimate experience sounds incredible, honestly. Much more memorable than a huge concert sometimes.
Exactly. Sometimes small, unexpected moments end up being the highlight of an entire trip.
Definitely. Speaking of unexpected moments, did you ever have a travel mishap in either city, something that went completely wrong?
Oh, definitely. I once missed my flight out of San Francisco because I completely misjudged the traffic to the airport.
Oh no, how bad was the delay?
I ended up spending an extra unplanned night there, which honestly turned out fine, but in the moment, I was panicking.
I bet. Did you at least use that extra night well?
Actually, yes. I found a small restaurant near my hotel that ended up being one of the best meals of the entire trip.
That's such a nice silver lining. Sometimes the worst moments accidentally create the best memories.
Exactly. What about you? Any travel disasters in New York?
Definitely. I got completely lost on the subway system during my first day there.
The subway can be confusing, honestly, especially for first-time visitors.
It really is. I ended up 2 stops in the wrong direction, completely turned around, no idea where I was.
How did you figure it out eventually?
A local teenager noticed I looked confused and basically walked me through the whole system on his phone.
That's such a sweet moment, honestly. It matches what you said earlier about people being kinder than expected.
Exactly. I think that experience actually made me trust the city more, not less.
That's such a positive way to look at getting lost. Okay, let's talk about weather and seasons for a moment. Does the season you visit change the whole experience?
Completely. I visited New York in autumn, and the colors in the parks were absolutely stunning.
Stunning. That's a great word, meaning extremely impressive or beautiful.
Exactly. You could say the autumn colors in the park were stunning. I've never seen anything like it.
I love that. Would you want to visit during a different season too, just to compare?
Definitely. Winter specifically. I've heard the snow completely transforms the whole city atmosphere.
That sounds magical, honestly, though probably freezing as well.
Probably both at once, knowing New York. What about San Francisco? Did the season affect your visit much?
Actually, yes, the fog changed throughout the day constantly. Morning fog, clear afternoon, then fog again by evening.
That sounds unpredictable. Did that affect your plans at all?
A little, mainly outdoor plans. I learned to always carry a light jacket, no matter what the morning looked like.
That's such practical travel advice, honestly. Weather assumptions can really ruin an outdoor day. Okay, one more question before vocabulary. If you had to recommend just one American city to a first-time visitor, which would you choose?
That's difficult, but I'd probably say New York, purely because it represents so many different experiences in one place.
That's a solid choice. I think I'd recommend San Francisco, actually, mainly because of the mix of nature and city life you mentioned earlier.
That's fair. I guess it depends on whether someone wants pure energy or a bit of everything combined.
Exactly. There's no single right answer, honestly, just different experiences for different personalities.
All right, let's move into today's vocabulary review before we wrap everything up.
We covered some really useful words and phrases today, and honestly, these come up constantly when people describe travel experiences.
True, so pay attention because you'll probably use these the next time you talk about any city, not just American ones. Our first one was overwhelming, meaning something feels like too much to process at once.
Example, the city felt overwhelming at first, but I loved it once I got used to it.
Next, we had breathtaking, describing something so beautiful it almost takes your breath away.
Example, the view from the bridge was breathtaking. I just stood there taking photos.
Then we had unforgettable, meaning something you'll always remember.
Example, Times Square at night was unforgettable. I've never seen so many lights in one place.
We also use the phrase within walking distance, meaning close enough to reach on foot easily.
Example, I love having everything within walking distance in the city.
Next was touristy, describing a place that's popular with visitors, sometimes less authentic because of that.
Example, the area near the pier was definitely touristy, but the food was still great.
And finally, sustainable, meaning something that can continue comfortably over a long period of time.
Example, I'm not sure that lifestyle would feel sustainable for me long term.
Great words today. Overwhelming, breathtaking, unforgettable, within walking distance, touristy, and sustainable.
Try using at least one of these the next time you talk about a city you visited.
Now, let's move into a little reflection before we finish today's episode.
I really like this part. It always makes the topic feel personal.
The city we love often says a lot about what we actually want from life, not just from a vacation.
That's such a good point. Someone drawn to constant energy probably craves stimulation and possibility.
And someone drawn to a calmer, mixed city probably values balance between excitement and peace.
Exactly. Neither preference is better, it just reflects what each person genuinely needs to feel comfortable.
I think this applies to language learning too, honestly. Some people thrive with intense daily practice, and some people need a slower, steadier pace.
That's such a great connection. There's no single correct way to grow, whether it's a city, a language, or a whole lifestyle.
Exactly. The goal is just finding what actually fits you instead of copying what works for someone else. It's such an underrated way to understand yourself, honestly, just noticing which places you're drawn to.
Definitely. Actually, one more thing before we wrap the discussion. Did you explore different neighborhoods within the city or mostly stick to the main tourist areas?
I actually tried to explore a bit beyond the obvious spots. There was a quiet neighborhood near the park that felt completely different from downtown.
What made it feel so different?
Fewer crowds, smaller cafes, and honestly, it felt more like real daily life instead of a tourist attraction.
That's such valuable advice for travelers, actually. Sticking only to famous spots can give a limited picture of a city.
Exactly. Did you explore beyond the typical areas in New York, too?
A little, yes. I wandered into Brooklyn one afternoon and it felt completely different from Manhattan.
How so?
Quieter streets, more space, and honestly a slower pace that surprised me for a city so close to Manhattan.
That's such a great example of how one city can actually feel like several different cities depending on the neighborhood.
Completely agree. I think exploring beyond the obvious areas really changes how you understand a place.
Definitely worth the extra effort, honestly, even if it takes you a bit further from the main attractions.
So here's our reflection question for you, our listener. What does your favorite city say about what you actually need in life right now?
Take a moment and think about it honestly. Maybe you need more excitement. Maybe you need more calm. Maybe you need a mix of both.
Try describing your answer in English using one of today's new words if you can.
And if you want extra support, share your answer in the comments. We genuinely love reading them.
We really do. It helps us understand our listeners better, and it helps you practice real English at the same time.
All right, I think it's time to wrap up before we start planning an actual trip together.
Fair enough. Let's summarize today's episode.
We talked about our favorite American cities, unexpected surprises, food experiences, and whether we could actually live long-term in the places we love visiting.
And we learned some useful vocabulary: overwhelming, breathtaking, unforgettable, within walking distance, touristy, and sustainable.
Remember, talking about a city you love is such a natural way to practice English. Everyone has a story, a memory, and a reason behind their choice.
So next time someone asks about your favorite city, don't just say the name. Talk about how it felt, what surprised you, and what memory stays with you most.
That's how a simple answer becomes a real, meaningful conversation.
Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Before you go, tell us one American city you've always wanted to visit, even if you haven't been yet.
We'll be reading the comments, and we genuinely can't wait to hear your answers.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.